Chapter 15. Begging for Forgiveness. Lancelot shows up at my door, desperate to explain and fight for us, but I turn him away, still guarding my heart. The faint hum of the city filtered through my apartment window, a distant reminder of life beyond the chaos of my heart. It was late, the clock ticking past 10 p.m., and I sat on my couch, wrapped in a blanket, trying to drown out the ache of the bond that tethered me to Lancelot. My date with Gawain at the Rusty Anchor had been a desperate attempt to move on, but Lancelot's raw, pleading words outside the bar, "You're my mate, I can't lose you," echoed in my mind. My wolf yearned for him, but the hurt of his hesitations, his entanglement with Vivienne's spell, kept my heart locked tight. I couldn't keep letting him in, only to be pushed away again. A sharp knock at the door jolted me, my wolf stirring instantly, sensing him. I hesitated, my pulse racing, but the bond pulled me forward, undeniable. I opened the door to find Lancelot standing there, his dark hair damp from the evening mist, his eyes burning with a mix of desperation and determination. He wasn't drunk this time. His gaze was clear, his posture tense, like a man on the edge of a cliff. "Ellie," he said, his voice low and urgent, stepping forward before I could shut the door. "Please, just hear me out. I can't let you walk away like that." I crossed my arms, my wolf whining, but my resolve holding firm. "Why should I, Lancelot? Every time I let you in, you pull back. You're fighting a spell, fine, but you're still letting it win. I can't keep doing this." He flinched, his hands clenching at his sides, but he didn't retreat. "I know I've hurt you, Ellie," he said, his voice raw. "I know I've been a mess, letting Vivienne's magic cloud everything. But I went to her, Ellie. I confronted her. The spell's breaking. I can feel it. You're the one I see now, the one I feel. My wolf knows it. I know it." He took a step closer, the bond flaring, a warm electric pulse that made my breath catch. "I'm fighting for us. I need you to believe that." My heart twisted, his words slicing through my defenses. The bond hummed, my wolf urging me to close the distance, to forgive him. But the memory of his denials, of Vivienne's possessive touch, held me back. "I want to believe you, but I'm not ready. You've hurt me too many times. I need to protect myself." His face crumpled, pain etching lines into his features, but he nodded, his shoulders sagging. "I'll keep fighting," he said softly, his eyes locked on mine. "I'll prove it, Ellie. I won't give up on us." He lingered for a moment, as if hoping I'd change my mind, then turned and walked away, his footsteps heavy in the quiet hall. I closed the door, my knees weak, and sank to the floor, tears spilling over. The bond pulsed, a living thing tying me to him, but my heart was a fortress guarding against more pain. My wolf whimpered, torn between longing and caution, and I hugged my knees, wondering if I'd made the right choice, or if I'd just pushed away the one person I was meant to be with. Chapter 16. Flood of Memories. Memories rush back to Lancelot, clarifying his love for me. He rejects the fake mate and approaches me with newfound clarity. The night was heavy with the scent of rain-soaked pavement as Lancelot stood outside my apartment building, his heart pounding in rhythm with the bond that tethered me to him. Since his desperate plea at my door, the fog in his mind had begun to lift, like a curtain tearing apart. Memories flooded back, moments untainted by Vivienne's spell. He saw my face in flashes, my laugh at the moonlit brew, the spark in my eyes when we argued, the electric jolt of our kiss in the file room. Each memory was a thread, weaving a truth his wolf had always known. I was his mate, not Vivienne. The spell had twisted his reality, but now, with every fragment returning, his love for me burned clear and fierce. He'd gone to Vivienne's apartment earlier, his wolf snarling, ready to end the lie. She opened the door, her confident smile faltering as she saw the gold in his eyes, his resolve unbreakable. "It's over," he said, his voice cold. "You manipulated me, wove a spell to make me think you were my mate. But I see it now. Ellie's the one. She always was." Vivienne's protests died as he turned away, her magic no match for the clarity of his bond with me. He'd walked out, free at last, his heart set on one thing, finding me. Now he stood at my door, his knuckles hovering before knocking softly. My wolf stirred before I even heard him, the bond flaring, warm and insistent, pulling me from the couch where I'd been nursing my doubts. I opened the door, my breath catching at the sight of him. His dark hair was damp, his eyes bright, with a clarity I'd never seen, gold flecks dancing in them. The bond hummed, stronger than ever, and my wolf whined, sensing a shift. "Ellie," Lancelot said, his voice steady but thick with emotion. "I remember everything. The spell's gone, and I see you, only you." He stepped closer, the air between us crackling. The Vivienne's magic twisted my memories, made me think she was my mate, but it was always you. Every moment, every feeling, it's all come back. My heart raced, hope warring with the fear that had kept me guarded. "Ellie," I said, my voice trembling, "how do I know this is real? You've pushed me away so many times. What if the spell comes back?" He reached for my hand, his touch gentle but firm, sending a jolt through me. "It's real," he said, his eyes locked on mine. "I feel you, Ellie, in every part of me. My wolf knows it, my heart knows it. I was lost, but I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere." His voice broke, raw with conviction. "I love you. I've always loved you, even when I couldn't see it." Tears stung my eyes, the bond pulsing with his words, my wolf howling in recognition. But the hurt lingered, a shadow of doubt. "I feel you," he said, his eyes locked on mine. "I feel you, Ellie, in every part of me. My wolf knows it, my heart knows it. I was lost, but I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere." His voice broke, raw with conviction. "I love you. I've always loved you, even when I couldn't see it." Tears stung my eyes, the bond pulsing with his words, my wolf howling in recognition. But the hurt lingered, a shadow of doubt. "You hurt me," I whispered, pulling my hand back. "All those times you chose her, spell or not. I want to believe you, but I'm scared." His face softened, pain flickering in his eyes, but he nodded. "I know," he said. "I'll spend every day proving it to you, Ellie. I'm done fighting this. You're my mate, and I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust." I stood there, torn between the bond's pull and the walls around my heart. The clarity in his eyes was new, unshakable, but fear held me back. "I need time," I said, finally, my voice barely audible. He nodded, stepping back, respect in his posture but love in his gaze. "I'll wait," he said softly, "as long as it takes." He turned to leave, but the bond thrummed, a promise of what could be. As I closed the door, my wolf whimpered, and I leaned against it, tears falling. Lancelot was finally free, but the path to trusting him again felt daunting, even with the bond burning brighter than ever. Chapter 17. The confession. The fake mate admits to casting the spell out of unrequited love. Lancelot and I process the betrayal, strengthening our real bond. The air in my apartment was thick with tension, the bond between Lancelot and me humming like a live wire after his visit last night. His newfound clarity, his memories of me untainted by Vivienne's spell, had left me shaken, teetering between hope and the lingering fear of betrayal. My wolf paced, yearning to trust him, but the scars of his rejection still ached. I was staring at a cold cup of tea, lost in thought, when a sharp knock startled me. My wolf stirred, but this time it wasn't Lancelot's presence I sensed. I opened the door to find Vivienne, her usual confidence replaced by a nervous edge. Her raven hair was pulled back tightly, her eyes shadowed, and for the first time, she looked vulnerable. "Ellie," she said, her voice low, "I need to talk to you and Lancelot. He's on his way." My heart clenched, my wolf growling at her presence, but curiosity held me still. "Why should I let you in?" I asked, my voice sharp. "After everything you've done." She flinched, but didn't back down. "Because I owe you the truth," she said, her words heavy with something like regret. Before I could respond, Lancelot's familiar footsteps echoed in the hall. He appeared behind her, his eyes blazing with gold, his wolf barely contained. The bond flared as our gazes met, but his attention shifted to Vivienne, his expression a mix of anger and resolute. "Talk," he said, his voice cold, stepping into my apartment. "And it better be good." Vivienne took a shaky breath, her hands twisting together. "I cast the spell," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've loved you for years, Lancelot. When I saw the bond forming between you and Ellie, I couldn't handle it. I used magic to cloud your memories, to make you think I was your mate. I thought if I had you, it would be enough." Her eyes flicked to me, filled with guilt. "I was wrong. It hurt you both. And I'm sorry." Lancelot's jaw tightened, his hands clenching. "You manipulated me," he growled, his wolf's anger radiating. "You made me doubt her, hurt her. Do you have any idea what that cost us?" My chest ached, the bond pulsing with his pain and mine. "Why confess now?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Why not keep lying?" Vivienne's shoulders sagged. "Because the spell's breaking. I felt it when you kissed her, Lancelot. I can't hold it anymore, and I can't live with this guilt." She looked at me, her eyes pleading. "I never meant to hurt you like this, Ellie. I just loved him too much." I wanted to scream, to lash out, but the raw honesty in her voice stopped me. Lancelot stepped closer to me, his hand brushing mine, the bond grounding us both. "You had no right," he said to Vivienne, his voice low but fierce. "Ellie's my mate. Nothing you did could change that." She nodded, tears in her eyes, and turned to leave. "I'll undo what's left of the spell," she whispered. "I owe you that." The door closed behind her, leaving a heavy silence. Lancelot turned to me, his eyes soft but intense. "Ellie," he said, his voice raw. "I'm so sorry. I should have fought harder, seeing through it sooner." He took my hand, his touch igniting the bond, warm and steady. "I love you. I know it now, clearer than ever." Tears spilled down my cheeks, the betrayal stinging, but the bond stronger, pulling us together. "It hurts," I admitted, my voice breaking. "But I feel you too. I always have." He pulled me into his arms, his warmth enveloping me, our wolves humming in harmony.
The betrayal was a wound, but his clarity, his love, was healing it, strengthening the bond that had always been ours. As we held each other, the shadows of Vivienne's spell faded, and for the first time, I felt the promise of something unbreakable between us. Chapter 18, Lingering Hurt. I confront Lancelot about letting the fake mate kiss him. He begs for forgiveness, but I need space, leaving us both aching. The late afternoon light filtered through my apartment's curtains, casting soft shadows across the hardwood floor. I stood by the window, arms crossed, my heart a tangled mess of hope and pain. Vivienne's confession had lifted the veil of her spell, and Lancelot's love for me shone clear in his eyes, our bond stronger than ever. But the memory of her possessive kiss at the gathering, his failure to pull away, gnawed at me like a splinter I couldn't remove. My wolf hummed, content with his nearness, but my human heart still bled from the betrayal, spell or no spell. When Lancelot knocked, I knew this conversation was inevitable. He stood in the doorway, his dark hair slightly tousled, his eyes searching mine with a mix of love and trepidation. The bond pulsed, warm and electric, as he stepped inside, his presence filling the small space. "Ellie," he said, his voice soft but heavy. "We need to talk, really talk." I turned to him, my jaw tight. "About what, Lancelot? How you let Vivienne kiss you right in front of me?" My voice trembled, the image seared in my mind, her lips on his, her smug glance my way. "Spell or no spell, you didn't stop her. You let her claim you, and I had to watch."
His face fell, guilt etching lines into his features. He stepped closer, his hands outstretched, but I backed away, the bond tugging painfully at my retreat. "I know," he said, his voice raw. "I was caught in her spell, Ellie. It was like I was watching myself, trapped in a fog. But I swear, even then, it was you I felt, you I wanted." "Then why didn't you fight?" I snapped, tears stinging my eyes. "You stood there, letting her touch you, while my wolf was screaming. Do you know how much that hurt? To feel this bond, to know you're mine, and see you with her?" My voice broke, and I turned away, hugging myself to keep from falling apart. Lancelot's breath hitched, and he closed the distance, his hand hovering near my shoulder. "I'm so sorry," he whispered, his voice thick with anguish. "I was lost, Ellie, but I'm here now. I love you. I choose you. Please forgive me. I'll do anything to make this right." His eyes, gold-flecked and pleading, met mine, the bond flaring with his sincerity, my wolf whining to accept him. But the hurt was a wall, solid and unyielding. "I want to," I said, my voice barely audible, tears spilling over. "I feel you, Lancelot. I do. But every time I close my eyes, I see her kissing you, and it breaks me. I need space. I need to know I can trust you again." He flinched, his hand dropping, pain flashing across his face. "Ellie," he said, his voice cracking, "I'll give you space, but I'm not giving up. You're my mate, my everything. I'll wait as long as it takes." He stepped back, his eyes never leaving mine, the bond aching with the distance between us. I nodded, unable to speak, and he turned to leave, his shoulders slumped. The door clicked shut, and I sank to the floor, my wolf whimpering, the bond pulsing with our shared longing. The hurt lingered, a raw wound, but his love was real, a beacon through the pain. I wanted to run after him, to let the bond pull us together, but I needed time to heal. As I sat there, tears streaming down my face, the silence was deafening, and we were both left aching, caught in the space between love
and forgiveness. Chapter 19. The Void of Absence. Waking alone, Lancelot regrets everything. I distract with work, but feel the pull, spotting each other from afar with unspoken longing. Lancelot woke to the cold light of dawn seeping through his apartment's blinds, the silence a stark contrast to the warmth he'd felt in Ellie's presence. His bed was empty, the sheets tangled from a restless night, his wolf pacing within him, whining for her. The memory of her tear-streaked face, her demand for space after confronting him about Vivienne's kiss, clawed at his heart. He'd hurt her, let the spell blind him to their bond, and now the absence of her was a void, aching and relentless. He sat up, running a hand through his dark hair, regret heavy in his chest. He'd promised to wait, to prove his love, but the distance between them felt like a chasm he didn't know how to cross.
Across town, I sat at my desk in Crescent Enterprises, the hum of the office a weak distraction from the pull of the bond. Files were stacked high, my internship tasks piling up, but my mind was elsewhere. Lancelot's pleading eyes, his raw apology haunted me, and my wolf yearned for him, its longing a constant thrum. I'd asked for space, needing to protect my heart, but the bond didn't care. It tugged at me, whispering his name. I typed furiously, trying to drown it out, but every quiet moment brought his scent, his voice, flooding back. The office was busy, phones ringing, colleagues bustling, but I felt alone, the void of Lancelot's absence a weight I couldn't shake. Sarah dropped another stack of papers on my desk, her smile sympathetic. "You okay, Ellie? You seem off." I nodded, forcing a smile, but my wolf whimpered, sensing him nearby before I even looked up. Through the glass wall of the conference room, I saw him, Lancelot, standing with a group of executives, his suit crisp, but his posture tense. His eyes found mine, gold-flecked and filled with unspoken longing, mirroring my own. The bond flared, a warm electric pulse that made my breath catch, and for a moment the office faded, leaving just us, staring across the distance. His lips parted, as if he wanted to speak, but he didn't move, honoring my request for space. My heart ached, torn between running to him and guarding the wounds he'd left. I looked away, focusing on my screen, but the bond wouldn't let go. Every keystroke felt mechanical, my thoughts drifting to his confession, his promise to fight for us. My wolf urged me to go to him, to let the bond heal us, but fear held me back, fear of more hurt, of trusting too soon. I grabbed a coffee from the break room, hoping the routine would ground me, but when I returned, Lancelot was still there, his gaze following me from afar, a silent plea in his eyes. The day dragged on, and I threw myself into work, but the pull never faded. As I left the office, stepping into the cool evening air, I felt him again, across the street, leaning against his car. Our eyes met, the bond crackling, and the longing in his gaze mirrored the ache in my chest. He didn't approach, just watched, his hands clenched, respecting my boundaries but unable to hide his need. I turned away, my heart breaking with each step, the void of his absence a heavy weight. My wolf howled, desperate for him, but I kept walking, the unspoken longing between us a thread that refused to break. Chapter 20. Attempts to prove love. Lancelot tries gestures like flowers and seeks advice from Isolde. Jealousy hits me seeing him with another, but he walks away, still fixated on me. The morning sun filtered through my apartment's blinds, casting stripes across the floor where a bouquet of wildflowers sat on my coffee table. They'd arrived yesterday, delivered with a simple note in Lancelot's sharp handwriting. "For you, always. I'm trying. ... L."
My wolf hummed at the gesture, the bond pulsing with warmth, but my heart remained guarded, still raw from the pain of his past hesitations. His promise to fight for us echoed in my mind, but the void of his absence lingered, and I wasn't ready to let him back in. Yet the flowers, vibrant and untamed like our bond, softened the edges of my resolve. At Crescent Enterprises, Lancelot was throwing himself into proving his love. He'd spent the morning with Isolde at the moonlit brew, his voice low as he sought her advice. "She's shutting me out," he said, his hands gripping his coffee mug. "I hurt her, Isolde, and I don't know how to fix it. The spell's gone, but the damage isn't." Isolde leaned forward, her auburn curls bouncing. "You've got to show her, Lance, not just tell her. Small things, gestures that prove you're all in. But give her space, too. She's scared." He nodded, determination settling in his gold-flecked eyes, and later that day he left a handwritten note on my desk at work. "I see you in every moment now. I'll wait." My heart fluttered, but doubt kept me silent. That evening, I headed to a local art gallery event with coworkers, needing a distraction from the bond's constant pull. The gallery buzzed with chatter, paintings glowing under soft lights. I was sipping wine, trying to focus on a colleague's story, when I felt him. Lancelot, across the room, his presence like a magnet. He stood near a sculpture, talking to a woman with sleek blonde hair who laughed too loudly, her hand brushing his arm. Jealousy surged, sharp and hot, my wolf snarling as the bond flared. My grip tightened on my glass, the memory of Vivienne's possessive touch flashing through me. But then Lancelot's eyes met mine, intense and unwavering, and he stepped away from the woman mid-sentence, his focus entirely on me. She called after him, confused, but he didn't look back, weaving through the crowd until he was closer, though still respecting the space I'd asked for. "Ellie," he said softly, his voice cutting through the noise, "I'm not here for anyone else. It's you. Always you." The bond hummed, his sincerity wrapping around me, but the jealousy still stung, and I turned away, my heart racing. I left the gallery, the cool night air doing little to calm my wolf's agitation. Lancelot followed at a distance, his footsteps steady, and when I reached my bus stop, he stopped a few feet away, his eyes filled with longing. "I sent you the flowers," he said, his voice low. "I'll keep trying, Ellie. I love you." He didn't push closer, honoring my need for space, but the bond screamed for me to run to him. I boarded the bus, my chest tight. The image of him walking away from that woman burned into my mind. His gestures, the flowers, the notes, were chipping away at my walls, but the jealousy and hurt lingered, a reminder of the trust we'd yet to rebuild. As the bus pulled away, I glanced back, seeing him still standing there, his gaze fixed on me, unwavering. My wolf whined, the bond pulsing with his love, but I stayed silent, torn between hope and fear, knowing his attempts were real, but unsure if I could let him in. Chapter 21. Rain-Soaked Surrender. Drenched in rain, Lancelot kneels at my door, confessing his love fully. I let him in, and we share a passionate kiss, crumbling my defenses. The rain battered my apartment window, a relentless rhythm that mirrored the storm in my heart. Lancelot's recent gestures, wildflowers, handwritten notes, his unwavering gaze at the gallery had chipped away at my defenses, but the hurt from his past hesitations lingered, a barrier I couldn't fully dismantle. My wolf paced, the bond pulsing with his love, urging me to let him in, but fear kept me tethered to caution. I sat on my couch, wrapped in a blanket, trying to focus on a book when a heavy knock echoed through the room, sharp and desperate. My wolf stirred, sensing him, and my heart raced as I opened the door. Lancelot stood there, drenched from head to toe, his dark hair plastered to his forehead, his shirt clinging to his broad frame. Rainwater dripped from him, pooling on the floor, But his eyes, gold-flecked and burning with intensity, held me captive. The bond flared, a warm electric surge that stole my breath, and before I could speak, he dropped to his knees, his hands trembling as they reached for mine. "Ellie," he said, his voice raw, unwavering despite the rain. "I can't do this anymore, living without you, pretending I can keep my distance. I was lost, trapped in Vivienne's spell, but it's gone now. I see you, only you, in every memory, every heartbeat. I love you more than anything, and I'll spend my life proving it." His words broke, his eyes pleading. "Please, let me in. Let me be yours." My heart twisted, tears mixing with the rain on my cheeks. The bond roared, my wolf howling in agreement, and the walls I'd built crumbled under the weight of his sincerity. "Lancelot," I whispered, my voice trembling, "you hurt me. I'm scared it'll happen again." He rose, stepping closer, his hands cupping my face gently. His touch ignited the bond. "I know," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I'll never let anything come between us again. You're my mate, Ellie, my everything. I'm here, all of me, for you." His eyes searched mine, raw and open, and the bond pulsed, a golden thread weaving us together. I couldn't fight it anymore. I stepped forward, closing the distance, and pulled him inside, the rain-soaked chill of his clothes pressed against me as I wrapped my arms around him, and he pulled me close, his lips finding mine in a passionate kiss. It was fire and home, the bond exploding into light, our wolves singing in harmony, my defenses shattered, every doubt drowned by the truth of his love, his hands warm against my back, grounding me in the moment. We pulled apart, breathless, our foreheads touching, rain still dripping from his hair. "I love you," I whispered, the words spilling out, my wolf purring in contentment. "I've always loved you, even when I couldn't." His smile was soft, radiant, his eyes glowing with relief. "I'm yours, Ellie," he said, his voice a vow. "Forever." He kissed me again, slower this time, the bond sealing us together, unshakable. The hurt wasn't gone, but it was fading, replaced by the warmth of his love, the certainty of our connection. As we stood there, rain pooling on the floor, my apartment felt like a sanctuary, and for the first time, I believed we could face anything together. Chapter 22. The Rooftop Marking. Under the stars, we mark each other, sealing our mate bond with a glowing light, embracing our forever. The night air was cool, carrying the faint scent of rain as Lancelot and I climbed the stairs to the rooftop of my apartment building. The city sprawled below, a tapestry of twinkling lights under a star-strewn sky, but my focus was entirely on him. After our rain-soaked kiss, the bond between us had solidified, a warm, unbreakable thread that hummed with every glance, every touch. My wolf was at peace, purring with contentment, but a new anticipation stirred within me, a primal urge to seal our bond, to mark each other as mates forever. Lancelot's hand in mine was steady, his gold-flecked eyes reflecting the stars, his love a beacon that banished the last shadows of doubt. We reached the rooftop, a quiet haven with a low railing and a scattering of old patio furniture. The moonlight bathed us in silver, and Lancelot turned to me, his expression soft but intense. "Ellie," he said, his voice low, reverent, "I've never been sure of anything. You're my mate, my home. I want to mark you to make this real, forever." His words sent a shiver through me, the bond flaring, my wolf howling in agreement. I stepped closer, my heart racing, the air between us electric. "I want that too," I whispered, my voice trembling with emotion. "I felt you since the beginning, even through the pain. I'm ready to be yours, Lancelot, and for you to be mine." My wolf surged, its instincts guiding me, and I felt a warmth building in my chest, a primal power ready to bind us. He cupped my face, his thumb brushing my cheek, and we stood under the stars, the world falling away. "This is sacred," he murmured, his eyes glowing gold, his wolf rising to meet mine. "Our bond, our marks, they're forever." I nodded, my own eyes shimmering with golden light, and we leaned in, our foreheads touching, the bond pulsing like a heartbeat. Instinct took over, guided by the ancient magic of our wolves. I tilted my head, exposing my neck, and Lancelot's breath hitched, his wolf's presence a warm, powerful force. His lips brushed my skin, soft at first, then firmer, and a sharp, sweet pain bloomed as his teeth marked me, a gentle bite that sealed our bond. A glowing light erupted where his mark took hold, golden and radiant, spreading warmth through me. My wolf sang, the bond blazing brighter, complete in a way I'd never known. I mirrored him, my hands framing his face, my lips finding the curve of his neck. My teeth grazed his skin, marking him as mine, and the same golden light flared, weaving between us, a visible thread of our connection. The bond solidified, an unbreakable vow, and we pulled back breathless, our eyes locked. The marks glowed faintly, a symbol of our forever, and my wolf purred, utterly content. Lancelot pulled me into his arms, his embrace warm and grounding, the stars above us witnesses to our union. "I love you, Ellie," he said, his voice thick with emotion, his lips brushing my forehead. "This is our beginning, no matter what comes." "I love you too," I said, tears of joy in my eyes, the bond humming with our shared promise. We stood there, wrapped in each other, the city a distant hum, our wolves at peace. The marks on our necks pulsed faintly, a symbol of the forever we'd claimed, and for the first time, I felt whole, ready to face anything with him by my side. Chapter 23. Settling into love. Lazy mornings and small gestures fill our days. Our home feels complete, and we go public with the pack, reveling in our peace. The morning sun filtered through the gauzy curtains of our apartment, casting a warm glow over the tangled sheets where Lancelot and I lay. His arm was draped across my waist, his breath steady against my neck, the faint glow of our mate marks still tingling from the rooftop ceremony. My wolf purred, utterly content, as I nestled closer, savoring the lazy quiet of our first morning truly together. The bond between us hummed, a soft golden thread that felt like home, banishing the pain of Vivienne's spell and Lancelot's hesitations. We were whole now, and the world felt right. Lancelot stirred, his gold-flecked eyes blinking open, a slow smile spreading across his face. "Morning, mate," he murmured, his voice husky, brushing a kiss against my mark. The touch sent a shiver through me, the bond flaring with warmth. I laughed, swatting his chest playfully, and he caught my hand, pressing it to his lips. These small gestures, his quiet touches, the way he left coffee brewing for me or tucked a wildflower behind my ear, filled our days with a gentle rhythm, each one a promise of forever. Our apartment, once just mine, now felt like ours. His books mingled with mine on the shelves, his jacket hung by the door, and the scent of him, woodsy and warm, lingered in every corner. Over breakfast, he'd tease me about my terrible pancake flips, only to sneak a bite from my plate, his grin boyish and unguarded. My wolf reveled in these moments, the simplicity of our love grounding us after the storm of doubt and spells. We'd sit on the couch, legs entwined, talking about everything and nothing, dreams, fears, the future, our bond weaving each word into something sacred. That evening we decided to go public with the pack at a gathering in the pack's wooded estate, a sprawling haven of pine and moonlight. My nerves fluttered as we approached, hand in hand, the weight of our new reality settling in. The pack knew of Lancelot's status, his leadership,
But our bond was fresh, our marks a bold declaration. As we stepped into the clearing, lanterns swaying overhead, eyes turned to us, some curious, others warm. Isolde rushed over, her auburn curls bouncing, her grin wide. "You two look disgustingly happy," she teased, hugging me tight. "About time!" Lancelot's arm slid around my waist, his touch grounding me as pack members approached, offering nods and smiles. An elder, her eyes glinting with wisdom, traced the glowing mark on my neck, her voice soft. "A true bond," she said, "blessed by the moon." My wolf preened, and Lancelot's grip tightened, his pride radiating through the bond. We moved through the crowd, dancing under the stars to soft music, his hand warm in mine, our steps perfectly in sync. The pack's acceptance wrapped around us, a quiet blessing, and I felt a peace I hadn't known I craved. Later, we stood by a bonfire, its warmth mirroring the bond between us. Lancelot leaned down, his lips brushing my ear. "This is our life now," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You and me, no more shadows." I smiled, my heart full, and kissed him softly, the bond glowing brighter, our wolves humming in harmony. The pack's laughter and chatter faded into the background, and in that moment, our home, our love, felt complete, a haven of peace we'd fought to claim. Chapter 24. Building a Home. Moving in together brings joyful chaos. Notes and tender moments deepen our connection, making every day feel right. The morning light spilled into our new apartment, a cozy loft with exposed brick walls and wide windows that overlook the city's skyline. Boxes were strewn across the hardwood floor, half unpacked, as Lancelot and I dove into the joyful chaos of moving in together. After our rooftop marking, our bond had solidified into something unshakable, a golden thread that hummed with every shared glance. My wolf purred, content in this new chapter, and even the mess of cardboard and bubble wrap couldn't dim the warmth of building a home with him. Lancelot was wrestling with a bookshelf, his dark hair falling into his eyes as he muttered at a stubborn screw. "This thing's fighting me," he grumbled, but his grin was boyish, infectious. I laughed, tossing him a screwdriver, and he caught it with a wink. "You're supposed to be the muscle, not me," I teased, unpacking a box of dishes, my fingers brushing a mug he'd bought me, a goofy wolf print design that made me smile every time. He abandoned the bookshelf, crossing the room to wrap his arms around me from behind, his chin resting on my shoulder. "You're distracting me," he murmured, his lips grazing my mate mark, sending a shiver through me as the bond flared. "This place already feels like us." His voice was soft, and I leaned into him, my wolf humming, the chaos around us fading into the background. Our days were filled with tender moments that wove our lives together. I'd find notes tucked into my work bag. "You make every day brighter, mate." Or wake to coffee brewing, Lancelot humming off key in the kitchen. He'd steal bites of my breakfast, laughing when I swatted him, and I'd catch him watching me as I arranged books or hung photos, his gold-flecked eyes soft with love. One evening, we painted a wall a deep forest green, smudging paint on each other's noses, collapsing into giggles on the drop cloth. My wolf reveled in these small acts, each one deepening our connection, making the loft our sanctuary. The chaos of moving wasn't without hiccups. We argued over where to hang a mirror. Lancelot insisted it looked better by the door, while I wanted it in the hall, and ended up compromising by propping it against the wall, both of us laughing at our stubbornness. We spent hours untangling cords, debating furniture placement, and unpacking memories. A photo of us at the moonlit brew, his old leather jacket now hanging beside mine. Each decision, each shared laugh felt like laying bricks in the foundation of our home. One night, as we sat on the floor amidst boxes, eating takeout from paper cartons,
Lancelot pulled me close, his fingers tracing my mate mark. "This is right," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You, me, this place, our life. I never thought I could feel this whole." The bond pulsed, warm and steady, and I kissed him softly, my heart full. "It's perfect," I whispered, "even with the chaos." Outside, the city hummed, but inside, our loft was a haven of love and laughter. My wolf curled up contentedly, the bond glowing like starlight. And every day felt right, like we were exactly where we were meant to be. As we fell asleep that night, tangled in each other's arms, the unpacked boxes didn't matter. Our connection, our home, was complete in its joyful imperfection. Chapter 25. Public Celebrations. At a full moon pack gathering, we stand united. Whispers fade as our bond shines, affirming our place together. The full moon hung low over the pack's wooded estate, its silver light casting long shadows across the clearing where lanterns swayed, their warm glow mingling with the night's magic. The air buzzed with the energy of the pack gathering, a celebration of unity and strength under the moon's watchful eye. Lancelot and I stood hand in hand, our mate marks faintly glowing, our bond a steady hum that anchored me amidst the crowd. After moving in together, our love had settled into a joyful rhythm, and tonight we were ready to stand united, to show the pack that our bond was unbreakable, forged through trials and now shining bright. The clearing was alive with pack members, wolves of all ages laughing, dancing, and sharing stories around a crackling bonfire. The scent of pine and roasted meat filled the air, and my wolf purred, at ease in this sacred space. Lancelot's fingers tightened around mine, his gold-flecked eyes catching the moonlight as he leaned down to whisper, "You ready for this, mate?" His voice was warm, teasing, but carried a note of pride that made my heart swell. I nodded, my smile mirroring his. "With you, always." The bond flared, a golden thread weaving us closer, and my wolf preened, basking in our unity. We'd faced Vivienne's spell, doubt, and pain, but here we were, stronger than ever. Yet, as we stepped into the heart of the gathering, I felt the weight of eyes on us, some warm, others curious, a few whispering with remnants of gossip about Lancelot's past with Vivienne. Isolde bounded over, her auburn curls bouncing, her grin infectious. "You two are stealing the show," she said, nudging me. "Everyone's talking about the power couple." She winked, and I laughed, but my gaze caught a few older pack members murmuring, their glances lingering on our marks. The whispers of Vivienne's spell, of Lancelot's confusion, hadn't fully faded, and my wolf tensed, protective. Lancelot sensed it too, his arms sliding around my waist, grounding me. "Let them talk," he murmured, his voice low, steady. "They'll see the truth." He led me to the center of the clearing, where the pack's alpha, a grizzled man with kind eyes, raised a hand for silence. The crowd stilled, the moon's light bathing us all. Tonight we celebrate the moon and our bonds, and we honor a true mate bond, one forged through trials. He gestured to us, and Lancelot pulled me closer, his warmth a shield. "Lancelot and Ellie, your marks shine as proof of your love. Step forward." We did, hand in hand, and the pack's eyes softened, the whispers fading as our bond glowed, visible in the faint light of our marks. The alpha placed a hand on each of our shoulders, his voice warm. "May your bond strengthen our pack, as the moon strengthens us all." Cheers erupted, and my wolf sang, the bond pulsing with joy. Lancelot's smile was radiant, his eyes locked on mine, and we shared a soft kiss, the pack's approval wrapping around us like a blessing. We danced under the stars, our movements fluid, the bond guiding us. The whispers were gone, replaced by smiles and raised glasses. Isolde twirled nearby, shouting, "Told you they'd love you." Lancelot laughed, pulling me close, his lips brushing my ear. "This is our place, Ellie," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Together, always." My heart soared, the bond glowing brighter, affirming our love, our home, our forever. Chapter 26. Overcoming doubts. A minor argument resolves in laughter. Isol teases my glow, reminding me this love is everything I've needed.
The late afternoon sun bathed our loft in a golden glow, the open windows letting in a breeze that carried the scent of autumn leaves. Lancelot and I were sprawled on the couch, a half-empty pizza box on the coffee table, our mate marks faintly pulsing with the bond that tied us together. The chaos of moving in had settled, our home now a cozy blend of his books and my knickknacks. But today, a small spark of tension flickered. It started over something trivial. Lancelot had left dishes in the sink again, and I'd tripped over his boots by the door. My wolf was content, curled up in the warmth of our bond, but my human side was prickly, the lingering echoes of past hurts making me snappier than usual. "Seriously, Lance, can you not leave your stuff everywhere?" I said, tossing a dish towel onto the counter, my voice sharper than I meant. My wolf whined, uneasy with the edge in my tone, but the frustration spilled out. "It's like living with a tornado." He raised an eyebrow, leaning against the kitchen island, his gold-flecked eyes glinting with amusement. "A tornado? That's a bit dramatic, Ellie. I was going to clean them later." He crossed his arms, a teasing smirk tugging at his lips. "Besides, you left your paints all over the table yesterday. Should I call you a hurricane?" I huffed, crossing my arms to mirror him, but his playful tone chipped at my irritation. "That's different," I muttered, though a smile tugged at my mouth. "My paints are art. Your boots are a hazard." He laughed, a deep, warm sound that vibrated through the bond, and stepped closer, his hands finding my waist. "Okay, Hurricane," he said, his voice softening. "I'll do the dishes if you forgive the boots." His touch sent a shiver through me, the bond flaring, and my wolf purred, urging me to let go of the annoyance. I rolled my eyes but couldn't hold back a laugh, the tension dissolving like mist. "Fine," I said, poking his chest, "but I'm holding you to it." We dissolved into giggles, the argument forgotten, as he pulled me into a hug, his lips brushing my mate mark, igniting a familiar warmth. These moments, small, silly, and ours, reminded me how far we'd come, how our love could weather anything, even my fleeting doubts. Later that evening, Isolde dropped by, her auburn curls bouncing as she flopped onto our couch, eyeing the pizza box with mock judgment. "You two are so domestic, it's disgusting," she teased, grinning at me. "But seriously, Ellie, you're glowing, like annoyingly glowing. This love thing looks good on you." I blushed, glancing at Lancelot, who was leaning against the counter, his smile soft and proud. "Yeah, well," I said, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear, "it feels right, even when he's a tornado." Lancelot chuckled, and Isolde rolled her eyes, tossing a pillow at me. "Ugh, you're hopeless," she said, but her voice was warm. "This is what you've always needed, Ellie. Someone who sees you, fights for you, and you," she pointed at Lancelot, "don't mess it up or I'll kick your ass." He raised his hands in mock surrender, and we all laughed, the room filled with a lightness that felt like home. As Isolde left, promising to drag us to the next pack gathering, Lancelot pulled me close, his arms wrapping around me. "She's right," he murmured, his lips brushing my forehead. "You're everything I need too." The bond glowed, our wolves humming in harmony, and I leaned into him, my doubts silenced by the certainty of his love. Our loft, our laughter, our life together. It was everything I'd ever needed and more. Chapter 27. Promises Under the Moon. On the rooftop again, we whisper vows of eternal love, tracing our marks and dreaming of the future. The rooftop of our loft was bathed in moonlight,
the silver glow casting a serene light over the city's skyline, a quiet contrast to the vibrant chaos of our life below. Lancelot and I stood close, our hands entwined, the cool night air brushing against our skin. Since our silly argument over dishes and boots had dissolved into laughter, our bond had grown even stronger, a golden thread that hummed with every shared moment. Tonight, under the full moon, my wolf stirred, content but eager, sensing the sacredness of this moment. We'd returned to the rooftop where we'd marked each other, drawn to reaffirm our love, to dream of the future that felt so close now. Lancelot's gold-flecked eyes caught the moonlight, soft and intense as he turned to me, his thumb brushing over my mate mark, sending a shiver through me. "Ellie," he said, his voice low, reverent. "This is where it all became real. You and me, forever." The bond flared, warm and electric, my wolf purring as I leaned into his touch, the memory of our marking ceremony vivid and alive. I smiled, my heart full, and traced his mate mark, the faint glow pulsing under my fingers. "I still feel it," I whispered, my voice thick with emotion. That moment, when we chose each other, it's like the moon sealed us together. The bond hummed, a golden light weaving between us, and I felt the weight of our journey, Vivienne's spell, the pain, the doubt, all fading into the certainty of this love. We sat on a blanket we'd spread out, the city's hum a distant backdrop, and Lancelot pulled me close, his arm around my shoulders. "I want to make promises to you," he said, his voice steady but filled with passion. "Not just for now, but for always. I promise to love you, Ellie, through every storm, every laugh, to fight for you, to build a life with you, kids, adventures, all of it." His eyes searched mine, raw and open. "I promise to be your home." Tears pricked my eyes, the bond glowing brighter, my wolf singing in harmony with his. I took his hand, pressing it to my heart. "I promise you the same," I said, my voice trembling but sure. "To love you fiercely, to stand by you, to make every day ours. I want a future with you, lazy mornings, pack runs, growing old together." I laughed softly, wiping a tear. "Even if you leave dishes in the sink." He chuckled, the sound warm, and pulled me into his lap, his lips brushing my forehead. "Deal," he murmured, his fingers tracing my mark again, igniting sparks along my skin. "You're my forever, Ellie. My mate, my love." We kissed, slow and deep, the bond flaring like starlight, sealing our vows under the moon's watchful gaze. The marks on our necks glowed, a testament to our eternal connection, and my wolf curled up, utterly content. We lay back on the blanket, staring at the stars, dreaming aloud of a house in the woods, packed gatherings filled with laughter, maybe a child with his eyes and my stubbornness. The future stretched before us, bright and boundless, and the bond hummed, a promise of every moment to come. As Lancelot's hand found mine, our fingers intertwining, I knew this was where we were meant to be, together, under the moon, our love eternal and unshakable. Chapter 28, Forever Entwined. Wrapped in each other, we reflect on our journey, our bond unbreakable. We faced tomorrow as one, in perfect harmony. The soft glow of dawn crept through the windows of our loft, painting the room in hues of gold and pink. Lancelot and I lay tangled in each other's arms, the sheets a warm cocoon around us, and our mate marks faintly pulsing with the rhythm of our bond. My wolf curled up contentedly, its presence a steady hum of peace, while the city outside stirred to life. The journey to this moment, through Vivienne's spell, Lancelot's confusion, my own guarded heart, had been a storm, but here we were, entwined, our love a beacon that had guided us home. The bond between us was unbreakable now, a golden thread woven through every trial, every triumph. Lancelot's fingers traced lazy circles on my back, his gold-flecked eyes soft as they met mine. "We made it," he murmured, his voice thick with emotion, a smile tugging at his lips. His hand found my mate mark. The touch ignited a warm spark, and my wolf purred, basking in the harmony of our connection. I nestled closer, my head resting on his chest, the steady beat of his heart grounding me. "It wasn't easy," I said, my voice soft but sure. "I was so scared of losing you, of trusting you, but every step, every fight brought us here." I lifted my head, meeting his gaze, the bond flaring with shared memories, our rooftop marking, lazy mornings in our new home, the packed celebration under the full moon. "You're my forever, Lancelot. I wouldn't change a thing." He smiled, pulling me into a slow, tender kiss, the bond glowing like starlight, sealing us together. We spent the morning reflecting, our words weaving a tapestry of our journey. He spoke of the fog of Vivienne's spell, how my presence had been the light breaking through, and I shared the ache of my doubts, the way his love had rebuilt my trust. Each confession deepened our connection, our wolves humming in perfect harmony, the marks on our necks a testament to our enduring love. As the day unfolded, we moved through our loft with ease, making coffee, laughing over spilled grounds, and planning a pack one under the next moon. The simplicity of these moments, his hand brushing mine, the way he tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, felt sacred. Each gesture a vow of our future together. We talked of dreams, a cabin in the woods, packed gatherings filled with our future children's laughter, a life built on the foundation of our bond. By evening, we stood on our rooftop again, the city twinkling below, the stars above mirroring the glow of our marks. Lancelot wrapped his arms around me, his chin resting on my head. "Tomorrow's ours," he said, his voice a promise. "Every day, every challenge, we face it as one." I turned in his arms, kissing him deeply, the bond a radiant force that bound us soul to soul. In that moment, wrapped in each other, we were invincible, our love a harmony that would echo into forever. Hey everyone, what a beautiful finale. Ellie and Lancelot's journey has been an emotional roller coaster, from spells and heartbreak to an unbreakable bond. We're thrilled you've joined us for this supernatural love story, and we want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment in Ellie and Lancelot's journey? Was it their rooftop marking, their first kiss, or maybe Isolde's sassy teasing? Drop your answer in the comments, and we'll feature your name or your preferred name in our upcoming story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch our next tale of love and magic. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment.